All right, Pez fans. So today we are talking about travel and we're talking about my favorite country to ride a bike in. You guessed it, Italia. I had a good stay when I was there recently at the Oxygen Lifestyle Bike Hotel, and I wanted to show you more about it. We're going to talk about the riding in the area, what the hotel is like, the amenities they offer, why you might want to consider a bike hotel for your next bike holiday, and why you might want to go to Rimini. People say to me, Pez, why Rimini? Well, I say, why not? It has got a fantastic mix of flat riding, hills, and some big climbs. In fact, Marco Pantani's favorite climb to train on, the Carpegna, is right smack dab in the center of the Italian Riviera and reachable from a number of different towns in the area. A little bit of an introduction to the Oxygen Lifestyle Hotel. Here it is. The original structure has been renovated extensively. There is a beautiful pool in front. There is parking for your car right there on site, which is easy. And the best thing is it's actually located right across the street from the beach. Beach access is fantastic. There's a beautiful flat promenade. As you can see, the hotel is modern. It's got a really nice, spacious lobby. They have lots of space for conferences because Rimini has a massive expo center, so there's a lot of conferences going on there throughout the year. The hotel itself has got quite a history. It was originally called the Helvetia, and was one of the old villas that really were the first structures that dotted the Italian Riviera. So rich families would come out, build a villa, and spend the summer there. These villas often got converted into hotels, and eventually the properties got expanded and much bigger hotels were built. This hotel has been in the Arlotti family for a long time. In fact, they own a couple of other properties in the area, but they are longtime hoteliers and they really know what they're doing. In terms of looking for a great bike hotel, here are some things I look for and here are things that I think you should look for as well. All right? First of all, is there a good bike room? How good is the bike room? How big is it? Whoa! Here we are taking a little tour through the bike room at the Hotel Oxygen. It is stocked to the rafters with some really nice Bianchis, which are available for rent. So this is a great point. You no longer have to travel with your bike like we used to in the old days. They will have a bike size for you. They will adjust the size for you. They will fit the stem, change out various parts, whatever you need. It's just so nice to be able to show up with your bike kit and know that you have got a great bike to ride. Getting ready for a ride in the morning, the bike room is stocked with snacks that you can pack into your jersey, take along with you. They also offer fully guided and supported rides, which is the only way to go. I've learned I don't want to be wasting any of my vacation time riding around with my phone trying to figure out a ride by myself. I literally want someone who knows where they're going. They know the shortcuts. They know the best roads. I just want to follow them, and I just want to enjoy looking around without having to figure out where I'm going. Here's another sign of a well-established bike hotel. Are they offering their own kit that you can wear? Yes, they are. And it's Italian kit, so you know it's going to be good. And people ask me, Pez, what kind of rides do they have? What's the riding like over there? One thing I can tell you is that it has got a little bit of everything. Lots of flat roads to get warmed up on and also finish on after a hard day climbing in the hills around there. It's nice to know that getting close to the hotel, you're going to be on some easy flat roads to spin it out and not kill yourself getting back home. Our profile on Strava looked like this. We did about a 20K warm-up on the flats before we got into the hills, and then we started climbing. There was two really big climbs that we did that were probably 5-6 kilometers each, and they weren't really super hard climbs. They were just exactly what I needed. A really nice ride like this. A couple of great climbs into some very scenic small towns. I'm going to show you one of those in a minute. But one of my favorite parts of this loop that we did, this little climb, it had 17 switchbacks, which were all just basically like this to get us up to this little town at the top. And then once we got to the top, this descent flowed and twisted and turned and went on for about 15 kilometers. And then it was a nice sort of flat, smooth ride back to the coast. Something else about this region too is that the population of small and very cool hilltop towns, great views, old churches, all kinds of historic vibe going on that is really cool to see. Our ride took us up to a town called Longiano, and it was a fun little ride up here. It wasn't difficult to get up there, a little bit of a climb, but once we got up on top of the hills, looking out across the hills of Romagna, there you can see it, San Marino off in the distance, that kind of triangular shaped spiky hill. The hills are abundant and lush and green. The towns are this beautiful terracotta color, and there's an awful lot of history around here. It's just a really cool place to ride your bike. Back to the hotel, got back around 1:30, grabbed a shower, a little bit of just a rest because my legs are kind of tired. And then following that, lunch. There's always the snack prepared. They call it a snack. It's actually more like lunch. So there's a whole buffet set out, pasta. I've got pasta, a bunch of different kinds of cold cuts and meats, arugula. There's some salad here, bread, of course, and got to rehydrate. The Oxygen has done a really good job with their kitchen. They serve their meals buffet style. Everything they make is made in-house. Their breakfasts are fantastic. All of these baked goods, all these croissants are made fatta in casa, which means it's made in-house. They do bacon, sausages, scrambled eggs. Look at these beautiful little fried eggs, and there's your hard-boiled eggs. And then there's the cereal station, tons of yogurts. Let's keep going. What else? We've got our jam station and our toast station. Fantastic breads. You've got a selection of cold cuts, cheeses, salamis, prosciutto, because you can't get enough prosciutto when you're over there. And then fruit. This is all still just part of breakfast. Now, don't get me started on the coffee. Well, maybe you should. But they have perfected the art of coffee. You've got these amazing coffee machines where you just dial up your espresso, you dial up your cappuccino, boom, push a button. Hot cups are waiting to be placed underneath there, and something else that they have is their own juicer. Basically, you just take whatever fruit you want, chop it up, put it into the machine, and bingo, look at that, instant, fresh, squeezed juice for your table. I love this. So you can see breakfast looks great. We've talked a little bit about the lunch. Okay, dinner time. Of course, we're at the sea, so the feature items are seafood, and they do different specials every day, so the menu does change. But look at this. These are all little seafood cups that have been individually prepared in the kitchen. More seafood on a platter. These seafood salads that are ready to go. Lasagna they've just baked. There's the risotto. Here are the French fries for the little ones. And guess what? There are the roasted potatoes, the Italian roasted potatoes. This is the mixed seafood on the grill. It just keeps going. Oh, now, and don't forget your vegetables. Green beans, the spinach. If you feel like some mussels, boom. Overall, the quality of the food here is very high. Excellent meals here. We also went out to eat in some of the restaurants, but I can tell you that staying in and having to not have to think about your food was fantastic, especially when the food is this good. Of course, you don't want to stay in a hotel that's not comfortable, so I've shown you the lobby. We've talked about the food. What are the rooms like, Pez? Hey, well, check this out. Let's get in and let's have a quick look. But the rooms are modern. They're comfortable. They're minimalist, but that's okay. You just need a place to get your suitcase, a comfortable bed, which these are. And compared to a lot of the other rooms that I've seen in Italy, these are spacious rooms. You know, the rooms on the front of the hotel all have these really nice little balconies, which offer amazing views out to the seaside. There's the beach right across the street. Their pool, it was a really nice place to just kind of sit and have a little bit of quiet time. How are we going to clean up? Check out the bathroom. Modern. It looks great. It's got everything you need. If you're wondering why there are two toilets, that's a bidet over there. If you haven't tried one, do it. Do yourself a favor. You're going to be glad you did. So when I was there in May, the weather was still not really beach weather, and the beach wasn't really open. There was really nobody there, so it was pretty quiet. We went back in the summer in July with the family, and we stayed for a few days, and it was full-on Italian summer holiday. The hotel was full. The beaches were alive. All right, so one of the main features of staying at the beach is, of course, the beach. And that's where I'm headed right now. The thing about the Italian beaches is they work a little differently than you might be used to. So, as part of the Oxygen Lifestyle Hotel, they are associated with this beach club. So the beach is essentially run and owned by all of these beach clubs. There's a little bit of public beach somewhere, but it's not very good. The beach clubs basically take a section of the beach and they set it up with umbrellas, lounges, everything that you could possibly want. There's a bar over there, there's showers, there's games to play over here, and you get your own spot. You check in with the ciao signor. You check in with that guy. He's got a grid where everything is assigned. Your spot, for the amount of time you're staying here, is your spot and your spot only. And right now I'm going to find my spot. Essentially, we have got probably 50 meters of sand, and it's nice sand. Check this out. It is a nice sand. We are about the fourth row back from the water. There it is right there. Today is a beautiful hot day. It's probably about 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. Pretty low wind. Now it's time to enjoy some relaxing at the spiaggia. The hotel auction itself is located in the town of Viserba, which is just a few kilometers actually north of the actual town of Rimini. But it's about a 10-minute drive by car. And driving down there is totally worth it because there's a lot going on. It's a really cool space to see. So here's a look around the old town of Rimini. The great Italian director Federico Fellini is from here. There's a big museum dedicated to him. But what I really liked about this town was just the activity of sharing Italian culture with Italians and not being overcrowded with tourists. There's a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great Negronis here. This was a bar I went to where I noticed all the Italians were hanging around out in the street, and I thought, you know what, that's exactly the place to go and get a Negroni. Yeah. This is the Ponte Tiberio, the Tiberius Bridge, which is just adjacent to a section where there are a lot of cool restaurants and a very cool neighborhood of Rimini that has become just a place to hang out at night and experience some nightlife and get a good meal, get a cocktail. There's this beautiful. All right, so there you have it. A closer look at what I think is a really great bike hotel. Love the people there. The facility is excellent. The riding is great. And they're also part of the Italy Bike Hotels bike group. So this is a group of hotels all around Italy that have gotten together and set a standard for hospitality and services directly geared to cyclists. So dedicated bike room, bike managers, guided bike tours, supported rides, great bike rentals. All of them have a fleet of bikes you can rent, from road bikes to mountain bikes to gravel bikes and even e-bikes, which is becoming really popular over there. They are set up for things like laundry services, after ride meals, excellent food, and really comfortable lodgings. So it's a great setup. And if you're wondering about where you're going to go for your next or your first Italian bike holiday, consider checking out Hotel Oxygen on the Adriatic coast. I'll be back.